I would like to welcome all to this hall of stain, where we salute who stood tall, whether blood or cuss. Boost closed out the mall, drug dealers are fiends, strippers and hood entrepreneurs. We them ghetto stars. I know generals with stars. They gon' tell us about their life and try to guide you through yours. Hey, Scooney on the beat, soldier smooth hit record. Where we live by the gun, try not to die by the sword. We them ghetto stars.
We them ghetto stars.
Yeah. Welcome to GhettoStarzPodcast, where we interview street legends and celebrities from all walks of life from the hood that inspire the youth, inspire the grown, inspire all the real across the world. You know, I'm your host, Bazurke. Today I have a special guest, Mr. Ram. Ram, how you feeling, big homie?
Good.
How's everything, man?
Everything is good, homie.
Oh, man, it's an honor to have you here with me today. You're a man of your word, right on time.
Definitely. John Ramsey, I don't play no games, man. If I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. That's what's up. So, can you please tell the people where you hail from, man?
I come from Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
Born and raised in Brooklyn.
You
know what I mean? Probably about 80% of that, was upstate, penitentiary.
Shit. What part of Brooklyn you from?
From Flatbush, Bedford-Stuyvesant.
Woo! Yeah. Two powerhouses. Two powerhouses, man. What's elementary school you went to? You don't know.
No, Jim Thorpe 600 school. I was in 600 schools.
600 schools.
Yeah, I went to all 600 schools.
No doubt. No doubt, man. Did you ever get a chance to make it to high school?
Yeah, I went to high school.
You went to high school?
Jailhouse high school.
Shit.
Now, actually, I'm gonna give you one of the most candid interviews I probably ever gave someone.
And I appreciate
that. I'm being perfectly honest with you.
No doubt.
You know, everything I've learned, I'm self-taught. I'm self-taught.
Absolutely.
Everything I know, I learned on my own.
Okay.
Period.
Okay. That's what's up. So, as I know, for the people who don't know, you spend an exceptional amount of time behind the wall, man. Can you give us an idea of, when did you begin to get into the life of crime? When was the first time that you've been captured by the police, and what was it for?
Probably 13 or 14, stolen car.
Stolen car.
Yeah.
What was your feelings as you got captured, man? And where were you at, if you can remember?
And that, let me tell you straight, so at that time, when you're young, you know what I mean? I would never be able to catch in my feelings as I felt then because of all the transitional feelings I had since then. You know what I mean? So it'd be, it's almost impossible to know exactly what you feel. One thing you feel, you lost your freedom. That's quite natural.
Right.
But what emotion attached to that is something else. I don't remember that. You know what I mean?
That's
because when you view things, you gotta remember when you're younger, your responsibility level is quite different. It's not the same as when you get older.
Facts. Facts of life, man. That's the best way you could put that. Definitely. So 13, stolen car, you get caught up, you go, what you went to? Spofford?
Yeah, I went to Spofford. Been through Spofford, been through Warwick State Training School. Been through all that.
Man, that was the gladiator school there.
Yeah.
No doubt, man. Did you have a lot of guys there that you knew already from the neighborhood? Yeah, so it was just like a reunion.
That's even like when you go to Spofford, that's generally the case. And you don't see it in hindsight that case is going to continue to go on. You go from Spofford, to the penitentiary.
Right.
Then you go from the penitentiary to the street.
Right.
You know what I mean? Those circles basically never get broken. You know what I mean? It never really gets broken. Just like right now, I'm most comfortable, when it comes to certain things, being around people I was in the penitentiary with.
Right.
because they can relate to you better.
For sure.
Right.
You know, it ain't even, it's our conversations.
Morals, principles.
Our conversation is not quantitatively different, but qualitatively different than I would have had with a person that had no experience in what we, went through.
Facts.
And some of us, basically are still going through.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because there's a certain level of adjustment that transpires. It ain't major, very subtle that transpire, when you come to the street. Right. And I ain't talking about just as far as, the mentality of it. It's just certain, when you're in the penitentiary, there's formulations that's constantly coming at you and actually affect you.
Right.
Where, you may have a police, a lot of police, get in line, do this, So that affects you.
Yeah.
So now, here you are, you come home, right? You home now.
Right.
So now you dealing with mostly family and friends.
True.
So you may have, family members, could be your wife, could be whoever, like, where you going? What you doing? You can't do it. And the effects of what transpired prior, you react to that. What do you actually, don't ask me that, because you reflect back on what was happening then.
True.
What kind of structure you was in. You
True.
know what I mean? So, you get guys, come home, I'm not affected, everybody's affected.
Yeah.
If you did substantial time, there's no way, it's highly impossible for you not to be affected. You may not visibly see it. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
But you are affected.
Right.
It's hard for you to see it because it's you.
True.
Then you'll have people that you may be around, only if they're being truthful. They'll see you doing something. Why he's doing that? It could be from getting in the shower with your nylons on.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's not normal practice in the street.
True.
People that come up in this particular society, that's not normal practice.
Hand washing your drawers,
all of that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, if you're not able to identify it, then you're going to constantly be doing it.
True.
It can definitely interfere with your relationships with people.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I know from going through certain things myself where I had to back up, look, okay, this is not how this go.
Right.
I got to remember, I'm here, I'm not there anymore.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So my response got to be, it's a little different.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
More simple.
I definitely feel you on that, man, because, by the grace of God, I didn't have that much experience behind the wall, but I've had my times, and we got over 40 man years as far as everybody around me times 3. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's story I take a little bit from, and the pictures that they painted made me understand why certain guys do certain things, why they, feel certain ways about certain things, and you gotta understand that to the maximum, because this is y'all path, this is where y'all came from,
And each story has its own twist to it. Each story is compelling its own way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And when I look at certain, podcasts or whatever, I listen to it. You got different type of narratives. People give different narratives,
Yeah.
And my outcome is maybe qualitatively different than the next person's.
True
outcome.
indeed.
Just like the path that I took coming home. Was it expected of me? No, it wasn't. You know what I mean? But a person that could think pretty well, he make adjustments. He come home, see what it is, because we all have this imaginative idea of what we want to do when we get out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm not a subjective thinking type person. I'm objective.
Okay.
I always, think with an open mind. You know what I mean? And because you come out here, what you visualize may not actually be a reality.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Or it may not happen in the timetable that you want it to happen.
Yeah.
So you got to have, an alternative to that,
Right.
Because, coming home, two things that I definitely had to do was, continue to fight my case. And I wanted to get into the television business and the music industry.
True indeed.
You know what I mean? And that didn't happen immediately.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I had to have an alternative. So dealing with my case, right, which I'm still litigating. Right? I done been in, the Daily News, Channel 4, Channel 2, Channel 1. I done did radio interviews, dealing with my case and wrongful convictions in general.
Right.
Right? And when I first came home, I was trying to get into the television business. I was dealing with a guy, and, he had certain connections to it. I met with Jennifer Graziano, the one that created Marv Wives.
Right, yeah, that name definitely rang a bell.
And I was in the office, and we was gonna do a reality show. Most people, all the people we was gonna have 20 years or better.
Damn. So how much time did you do?
I did 33 years.
33.
I did 33 years.
God
damn.
damn.
33 years.
Shit.
And so I was basically gonna be the one, because the guy that was with us, he knew her. He did a little federal time, nothing on a major scale.
Right.
And it was best for me to pick the cast.
True indeed.
Right. So, I went to few people, and the thing with picking out cast, especially guys in the penitentiary, you got to know the chemistry is gonna work.
Right.
In the sense that anybody on the outside really don't know what goes on the inside.
True.
So you get guys that really don't get along with each other.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So you don't want to bring a situation like that.
Exactly, because they got a react.
It affects everything that you do.
Exactly.
So that it really wasn't a mission with me, because I know most of the brothers that did time or whatever, and I know who don't fuck with who and all that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know that shit.
Right. Keep moving.
You know what I mean? But I try to be good, not with everybody, because everybody you can't fucking be good with.
Nah,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But the brothers that I talked to bring on, I was good with them, and they were good with the people that was coming on board.
Sure indeed.
But what happens sometimes, us coming home from the penitentiary, I did a lot of time. Sometimes people, they have this perception that we are really slow. We are
man, that's the
slow,
furthest from
and
the
that
truth.
you can pretty much, water us down with anything.
Nah.
And see, one thing about me when I came home, just to track off a little bit, most guys come home, they pursue one thing, most of them. I ain't saying all of them, most of them.
What's that?
They pursue money.
Money, no doubt. Yeah.
I'm not that type.
Okay.
I don't pursue money. I pursue power. And that's always been my thing, is power.
No
when you're sitting up in the penitentiary, you in that cell, most of us, unless a person really want to lie and pretend,
yeah,
most of us ain't really had no big money.
No doubt.
Most of us.
No doubt.
Whether you from Brooklyn or that, you ain't had no big money.
No doubt.
And you didn't have no power.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And with me, I always sat back. I always networked when I was in the penitentiary.
Yeah.
I always did that.
Yeah.
And I got a sense of what power is.
Absolutely.
So when I came home, that's all that I seeked out.
Right.
I came home with a little money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I learned how to budget, in the penitentiary.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
Hell
so
yeah.
now, coming home, I budget what I got, and what I did was I started seeking out power. So I started meeting this person. Brother took me around, legal stuff, even though I was, trying to get my case into certain law firms. But I started generating power because I was meeting people of power. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So now, intellect is a beauty.
Right.
It is a beauty, because if you got good intellect, you can talk. If you got dumb intellect, it's best that you don't talk.
True.
Because if you do talk, that's going to
Take
impede
away
upon
from
you
you, yeah.
moving forward. Because
Yeah.
people around you going to know this is a dumb motherfucker. you know what I'm saying?
Word.
So I had no problem speaking
True.
because I knew what to speak about, and how to speak about it.
Right.
Right. So when I got into this legal arena, you get guys, I may go and see some guys in the penitentiary after I got off parole or whatever, and they be like, yo, man, how you never even was going to the law library. I don't have to go to the law library to have intelligence about law.
Right.
I don't have to go. I literally don't have to go there for that.
True.
You know what I mean? And I wound up getting into to the law, dealing with investigation, right? So most people see this, right? And the first thing they see is investigation. Oh man, this dude a cop, what is he, right?
Right.
Then when you get down here, specializing in wrongful conviction cases. You know what I mean?
For the people.
Right. So now, when I got off and doing that, casting for this, it didn't go right, bottom line, without going into all the damn particulars.
Okay.
It didn't go right, right? So I didn't move on. I wound up meeting with people at Discovery Channel, different little, I didn't been around. Right? And, but I always had a certain level of focus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That will never, ever, ever, ever be sidetracked. You know what I mean? My focus is, stay in the street,
Yes, sir.
do things that's ever going to move me ahead, and network with people of power.
Absolutely.
That was my whole thing. So when the brother brought me around to the legal field, I used to be cut in on certain little meetings. I met other, investigators, most of them retired New York City cops.
Right.
I met them and I used to listen a lot. You know what I mean?
Sponge.
And that's why most people, I think they were shocked years later when we did a press conference February of 2019 at the Marriott Hotel.
Okay.
Right? And I was, dealing with my case. And that's when they realized actually what I was doing and what I had behind me.
Right.
No one, and this is the truth, no one actually knew. Probably, my cousin Shaquille, because I used to relate, another friend of mine. Shaquille. Most people don't know that.
My big homie Shaquille,
Exactly.
TKB Shaquille.
And this is the first time I ever did any type of interview and mention his name.
Oh man,
I did it.
GhettoStarzPodcast, fresh.
You know what I mean? I did
man.
it because I asked him. You heard me talk to him on the phone, because that's just the way I am.
Absolutely.
You probably would never hear me mention people's names, especially street people.
That's power.
I don't do that.
That's
what
power.
I mean? Even though my cousin, he's not in the street. He's
Yeah,
he's
no
legit.
doubt.
Everything.
Absolutely.
He came home, did his thing.
Sure.
Down with G-Mac and them till he retired off of that.
Right.
You know what I mean? But, his head is straight.
Absolutely.
It's definitely a DNA thing, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
His head is straight, came home after 3 years, he all parole the same way I did.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I'm proud of both of y'all.
Definitely.
Man. Sure.
And, so when I came home, I got into the legal thing. Then I wound up starting a company, an investigative company, Liberty Investigation.
Liberty Investigation Company.
I started that.
That's what's up. What year you started that?
Oh, yeah, was that 3 years ago, maybe?
3 years.
I think 2016.
2016.
Yeah, about 2016. Right?
Okay, cool.
Yeah, about the end of 2016.
Yeah.
And only thing I investigate is wrongful conviction cases because I was wrongfully convicted. Went to prison, for something I didn't do.
You see how unselfish that. Well, let me just say this real quick. This Black History Month, I want to honor you as a Black History hero.
Thank you.
Because how many people dedicate their life to helping other people avoid the hellfire that they went through? That's very unselfish, and that's some real hero stuff, man. And I salute you for that. I'm quite sure there's a lot of other brothers and sisters that salute you for that as well, because you're fighting for the people that cannot fight for themselves. Yeah. So that's G'd up. That's gangster.
Excuse me, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
You know what it feel like when you go, like I go back into prisons, right?
Mm.
I go back into most of them.
Yeah.
They let me in, right?
Right.
I go in there and, you know, you may get a brother, and this has happened to me, come over to the table, yo, Ramsey, what's up, baby? I said, ain't nothing. You'll be like, yo, I need your help, man. You know what I mean? And some of them I know ain't really got no bread. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They ain't paid me.
Right.
But if I can help them, I help them.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
True. That's what's
And that's only because I've been there. I know.
Yeah.
And being able, you know, to relate to them big time. You know, when I could sit on a visit, you know, one time I was on a visit and this thing hurted me so bad. And I'm sitting there, so the visitors is in already, right? These particular people came in, there was a mother and two daughters.
Mm.
They come in, and I'm sitting there and I'm watching them because I'm waiting for my visitor to come down.
Yeah.
And this older brother come out, I think he was a Jamaican guy, come out, and the two daughters get up their seat, they walking towards the desk where he got to, you know, register and let him know he's down.
Yeah.
And, you know, they walk to their father, and you basically see the pain in their face, you heard?
Yeah.
Pain and happiness together.
Right. Glad to see him.
Exactly.
Glad that he is where he at.
And, you know, seeing that, this is the first time I've been on a visit where I almost went into tears.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I know that father, right?
Right.
It's not leaving out with his kids. You know, his kids is leaving out alone. So, you know, these are things that make me fight. And I don't have to do this. I can do other things.
True indeed.
You know what I'm saying? But I have a passion for what I do.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And you get brothers, you know, that come home and they basically don't do nothing for nobody in the penitentiary. And to me, there's a distinction between, you know, making a difference and making an impact. I know from experience, to make a difference for a person in the penitentiary, it could mean sending $100, mean sending them a pair of sneakers. I'm not for that. I want to make an impact. Right. I know to make an impact, that means you transition from the penitentiary to the street.
Facts.
You understand what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? Things that's going to really make an impact. And that's what's most important to me. You know what I mean? When I can watch people come home, and I've seen it. You know, I was just in Otisville Correctional Facility. Mm. The guy, Tyrone Johnson, came home, right? Another wrongful conviction case, right?
Oh,
and I drove up there, me and my man Beretta, he met me there. And, you know, to watch him come out the van, to watch his family, hug him, you know, that there is nothing that most people from the outside can understand the feeling of, you know, to see that. Because some of us, you know, you go to the penitentiary and the people that you left when you went to the penitentiary is not there when you return back home. They're gone. Because it happened to me with my sister. You know what I mean? Yes, my sister passed away when I was in the penitentiary. Yeah. So you go from sympathizing to empathizing. You know, now you actually know the feeling of that. You know what I mean? So when I look at, you know, I look at a lot of brothers. I look at, you know, Jay-Z and them. I look at Meek Mills. I look at the things that they do. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I respect them a lot because they really don't have to fucking do it. You know what I mean? Right. They can get out. Meek Mill could have got out and kept it flight.
Of course.
Right? So when I watch, you know, brothers like that, you know, that means a lot to me. Yeah. I give them high credence because these guys is up here. They don't need to be fucking with this. They don't have to be fucking with. Not that they don't need to. They don't really have to.
They don't have to at all.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when you take Jay-Z in particular, when you watch that, I watch the things he do. These things that's visible for me to see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. When brothers go to jail, you know, they come from the hip hop community. He tries to support them. True. Not all of them.
Jay-Z,
you know what I mean?
Sticks his head out.
I respect that. When the brother they was trying to deport him, 21 Savage.
Yeah.
You know, he stepped up.
Right.
And that's only what we know of.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So I personally pay attention to that.
Yeah.
You know, because that's how I am.
True.
But not on his level.
True.
You know, on a financial level.
We don't have the fun, right. And we have the bread.
If I had it, I would. It's when it comes to getting people the best lawyers or what I feel are the great lawyer like Edelstein and Grossman in New York. I think they're one of the best lawyers there is. When you talk about Earl Ward, you talk about Sam Shapiro, Jonathan Batten, just different, and Emory. Their firm is unique. You talk about different people in the civil rights and the conviction, review sense, that reviews wrongful conviction cases.
Right.
Because I've worked with them.
True.
You know what I mean? And I love doing what I do. And the thing with me is, when I start on a case, I don't let it go. Even if, you may get a firm and say, we want to drop this case. I really don't want to. Nah, because I didn't build relationships with these clients.
Yeah.
So there's no way that I'm going to start something and then tell the client, I'm done. I've done it in one situation, but the only reason why I've done it in that situation, they paid me to do it, which I generally don't take independent cases. Independent cases to me is like a guy that's in jail and he see, I want you to take my, either I do it for nothing, or I don't do it for pay. Right? And his mother give me the money, and I'm doing way more than what the fuck she.
Right.
I did a lot more.
There's extras on it.
But he didn't have a sense of what he was doing. You know what I mean? So after I finished what we finished, because I got two females that work with me. One is retired New York City cop that I grew up with, Tanya Williams,
that's what's up.
and Lizette. I grew up with them since I was kids. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And she works with me. She's retired. All her, her brother's been in the penitentiary. One of them wrongfully convicted as well. Plus me, because I'm like a
brother too,
for sure.
No doubt.
And there's things that you just see, you know what I mean? And I try to watch a little bit of everything, especially anything that's dealing with, wrongful convictions. I watch with Jason Flom. He's from the music industry, high up there in the music industry. I watch Kim Kardashian, what she does. You know what I mean? I watch all it because that's the field that I'm in.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? But I look at, brothers I may run into, and there's no way I could talk without trying to advise you or something, if I can.
True.
I'm not saying I got a monopoly on sense, but if I can advise you of something, you know what I mean? Trying to, keep a brother on the right path. It ain't easy for no one. It wasn't easy for me.
No.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that I want. I used to, I like dressing like this, like doing that. But after a while, that shit coming close to the past, man. Don't really mean nothing. As long as I can be, presentable, I don't care about that.
Right. You got the main essentials. That's what matters most.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, clothes on the back, something to eat.
That's all it is.
That.
And taking care of, your family, looking out, I feel good when, brothers could call me and be like, yo, Rams, I need you to. And one thing about me, I don't lie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, keep it all the way.
I keep it 100, right?
Why not?
People call me, and I always, I give them a number I'll be up there within 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? I remember I told that to brother in Clinton. Clinton is far as hell. You know what I'm saying?
Deep in, right?
Right. So
that shit crazy.
So I had told him that. I think it was 3 days later I was there.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? And he was, shocked. Because once I make that commitment, that's it for me. Because I know what that means.
I understand exactly. And I like the fact that you said that you know what that means, because a lot of cats tend to forget, right? They were made promises that never came true. Yo, I'm gonna come check you, and you waiting. And there's one thing that, okay, maybe you couldn't make it, something came up, but holler at me and let me know that. A lot of people don't understand that, it's common courtesy. Communication is key. Keep it all the way real, man.
Some people can't do that.
Just keep it real, man. It's not that difficult.
And plus, sitting up when you in the penitentiary, you sitting up. I know what it is to wait for a visit, and that's all I reflect on is my own experience.
Yeah.
And basically, everything I do, I reflect on my experience.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, I know what it feels to sit in there and, you wait for a visit, don't come, or you tell somebody you're going to do something and you don't do it. I know what it's like, you know what I mean? And that's what motivates me a lot,
Right, to do your thing with
When
the
I,
people.
be on a visit, you just know, what they experience. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I love to see, when I call brothers on a visit, they walk on a visit, they see me something. Sometimes it's unexpected.
Right.
Sometimes they don't even know I'm coming, you know what I mean?
True indeed.
And they see me, yo, Rams, oh man, I love to see that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Brighten up they
I hate to depart from it,
yeah.
but I love to see that. I love to see that big time.
Fact.
That, it means a lot, man. And a lot of, to me, visiting rooms should be crowded.
Hell yeah.
They should be stacked.
Hell yeah,
You
why
know
not?
what I mean? But that don't be the case. And I try to, especially younger brothers out here, I try to tell them, man, everything is not what it seems. You know what I mean? And, when you're looking at a person, and Jay-Z said that they're going to be on their best behavior.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. You paying attention to them.
Yeah.
They know, you know what I mean, to tighten up. When you act like
you're going to be on your best behavior.
Hell yeah.
I love you, brother, but when you're not there, it's not the same.
True.
You know what I mean? I watch, so many brothers, man, go down in the sense of going down, man, and they have no representation at all. They're not being represented, man.
It's foul,
You know what I mean?
It's foul.
They are not, they literally not being represented. I had a brother tell me one time, and he had wrote me, I was still in the penitentiary at the time, and he told me, he said, he wrote me, he said, I depend on you doing for me more than my family when you get out. And that's, that's a heavy piece.
Yeah, that hurts.
That's a heavy piece. You know what I mean?
Definitely heavy, man, because, at the same time, it's like, man, I really got to stay dedicated to this because I know, you know what I mean? Like, I'm the last option for this cat.
You know what it is? It's even coming home, right?
Mm-hmm.
People give you this expectation. They give it to you, so they expect you, to be up here,
Right.
right? And for you, this, so it's a lot of pressure on you, to make it.
Absolutely.
And when I looked at that, when I first come home, you really, you're trying to find your way. I mean, it's just simple as that. Everything is not new. I remember when I first got the iPhone 6, you know what I mean? As soon as I got out, got in the car, and we in the back, there's about, I don't know, maybe about 6 of us. We in a limo and shit, right? And they give me the phone. I got the phone upside down. You know what I mean? So you gotta turn the phone around. So my thing at that, was master this, learn how to use it. So every night, anytime I'm home, I'm in that phone.
Yeah, practicing, trying to
practicing
how to get this shit right.
And I wound up learning that, then emailing and text. I learned all that in a short period of time.
I'm still a little rusty.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I stay on it. You know
Got
what I mean?
to. Determined, man.
I mean,
yeah.
And could you? This is like I ain't gonna say your lifeline, but all your information is here. Pretty much.
True.
Your communication thing is here.
Yeah.
And these phones is very, very valuable as far as business. You need it. Put your notes in. Your calendar,
Everything.
or whatever.
Also trained us to be somewhat lazy mentally, though.
Yeah, it can.
Because one time I was out of town, I got captured, and I'm trying to call everybody. I can't remember nobody's number. I'm like, oh shit,
yeah.
I'm in a whole nother city, whole nother state,
yeah, you don't know.
and I don't know nobody's number.
Ain't that something?
Yo,
Ain't that?
crazy.
And that's deep. If you ask me right now, I don't even know my wife's number.
Yo, for real, man. It's
Straight.
like that.
Only number I know is my mother's regular phone. Not a, I don't know her cell, but I know the phone.
Right.
I called her 30-something years.
Right.
And another, another friend of mine, I know his mother's, because I used to call her.
Right.
But other than that, no.
That's the challenge that I have for myself. I said I wanted to be able to learn the most important numbers. You can't remember them all, but just at least 5 of the main numbers.
Yeah. That's deep though.
That's back in the day.
You got it. Either that or you had the phone book.
Right.
That's good. I guess I'm gonna try that.
I'm gonna try that, man.
You know what I mean? Trying to remember.
So
that's
spoiled
important.
with these phones. You ever had locks and phones a number in and somehow it just disappeared? So you're like, oh man, I don't even got.
And you just never know. Because one time my phone went out and I was downtown Brooklyn. And I'm like, yo, I gotta get me a new phone. I went down there before I left downtown Brooklyn. I had a new phone.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? There was no way I was going to the next day.
Word.
You know what I mean? I had to come out my pockets.
Yeah.
But I came out my pockets.
You felt
I had to have it because it's the communication. Especially the fact of what I do.
True.
I'm constantly calling. Somebody's calling me, texting me, emailing me about something. I must have that.
Facts.
I must have it.
Hey man, I know you don't like to revisit this time, man, but how did you feel when you got out of the can after all that time, man? What was your first thoughts the night before you was on your way back out into the world, man? You know what's crazy about that is that, all right, when I first got the day to go home or whatever, your mind going in a total different mode. It's different, right? Yeah. Totally different, right? So you went from penitentiary activities now to street activities. Yeah. Right? And you think about it, I'm actually going home. Right. And the fact that, person, whether you do 27, 28 years, all that's pretty much the same. Doing 33 years, that's 3 decades and some change. You going in at, I went in at 21, coming home at 55 years old. You know what I mean? Yeah. And one thing I said, I'll never forget this. I was in my cell visualizing myself, right? In a limousine, right? On my way to New York. Yeah. But never giving up one of my key habits, and I was thinking. You know what I mean? Facts. I'm always, like sometimes I could be at a red light, you think I'm texting, I'm not texting. Right. I take right off. I'm thinking about something. Sure did. You understand what I'm saying? Sure did. The same practices that I use in the penitentiary, I use it out here, right? Sure. If I run into certain guys, if you was ever run into certain guys that I know from the joint, if they see me, like we could be in some place and they'll see me just sitting there, and because they know how I am. Yeah. I'm not too social with people. I don't really know. Right. And because I'm always watching, you know what I mean? Right. Trying to analyze exactly, what exists around me, what's going on. Right. And it helped me do my whole bit, basically. You know what I mean? I was fortunate enough to don't have no jailhouse scars. I was fortunate. You know what I'm saying? And I've had my share, of interactions. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I always try to keep myself ahead of the game as much as possible. Even like with your homies, I know a lot of them. Right. You know what I mean? Get along, we good money. We come up together in the penitentiary. No doubt. You know what I mean? And sometimes you get people talking this way, this gang's there's nothing wrong with that. Right. And I see it in the sense of that, police is a fucking gang. District attorney's office is a gang. Okay. My man, he said it best. Yeah, all that is a gang, right? Because I have a song title Everybody Bands. And I explain that. You know what I mean? Teachers, task force, Democrat, Republican, jewelers, doctors, sororities, veterans, basketball team, football and hockey. He scream umpire, this dude say he jockey. We scream Black Power, they screaming out Nazi. Tai Chi, Taekwondo, Orugusaki. Like, that's how I really feel.
I'm going to tell you.
Army, Navy, Marines.
You know what it is? It's so obvious, right? When you look at, this is fucking crazy, right? Mm-hmm. You know, the police talk about, you know, don't snitch on each other, blah, blah, blah. Why would you, but
blue code.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, but why would you say that if everything you do is legitimate? It's not fucking legitimate.
Facts,
right? And when you talk about, you know, district attorney, all these people look out for each other. And that's where motherfuckers that bang, we look out for each other.
Absolutely.
You understand what I'm saying? That's the reality of it. And then I just had a conversation with somebody the other day, and I tell them, I always tell people that everything is predicated on numbers. Matter of fact, I was talking to the guy from 848.
Oh, Inch?
Yeah, not Inch, the other one.
Oh.
I was talking to his partner. I know him.
Okay, no doubt.
I was talking just the other night.
That's to the homies.
Yeah, 2 or 3 nights ago, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
And I told I told him, I said, everything is predicated on numbers. Everything.
No doubt.
Everything you do is predicated on numbers.
True.
Whether you're in the music industry, television industry, police, DA, all these motherfuckers, everything is predicated on numbers. And numbers create corruption.
Facts.
So when you're dealing with the DA's office, you know, the police, this is what happened. If I'm the chief, right? I'm the chief of the DA's office. I'm the district attorney, right? Yeah. Then you got the chiefs, you got the deputies. The people that work under them, if they give them 6, 7 cases, right? Give them 6 or 7 cases to try. They get to number 4, they done lost 4 already. Right? They done lost 4 already. Yeah. So now, man, I can't, I lose anymore. I'm gonna lose my position, brother. They start cheating. That's when they start hiding documents, doing all kind of underhanded shit.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's the same thing with police.
Facts, yeah.
You understand? Yeah. When you're dealing with numbers, you're gonna deal with people trying to cheat.
True indeed. Erasing shit off.
And all of that.
Dirty game, man.
All of that. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So when I view you a gang. You know, bottom line, I don't care how you look at it.
Right.
That's exactly what it is. All it is, you may take this game, all it is different industries.
Right. That's it, man.
That's all it is. It's just different industry.
That's it. I said, you know, how are we different from Psi Beta, Alpha, or whatever sorority? You know what I mean? It's the same shit, man. They get in certain places because they frat brothers, the owner, you know what I mean? He get a discount because of his cousin is such and such. It's all the same thing.
Yeah, I don't, you know, sometimes people try to gear you into a particular, no one gears me nowhere.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, I love my people.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? And my people in general. It don't have to be, and with me, it's a little different. I don't care about race. I'm not really I'm not strongly into that. Whether you black, blah, blah, because I got white dudes I'm really close with.
Hell yeah.
You know, I got Latinos that I'm really close with.
I deal with soul, man.
You know what I'm saying?
I deal with vibe,
yeah, for sure. I didn't grow up that way.
Hell no.
And
we never had color lines growing up. It's you love who God loves you.
That's for sure. For sure. And that's what's, you know, important to me. I'm not one of them phony motherfuckers.
Right.
Because I dealt with them in the penitentiary where, you know, guy, you racist, then all of a sudden, I see you with a Latino, I see you with a white, what are you taking?
You can't handle that much.
What are you,
right.
Come on.
Right.
Be weird, man.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
You got the motherfuckers, I hate niggas, but you listen to Gucci Mane, and you got, you know what I'm saying? You want the autograph and shit like that.
It's
like,
just
how you hate, you don't hate niggas that much.
You get,
you know,
and I've been in situations.
You want that little flair.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You don't hate niggas that much.
And I know people that's, you know, and it makes me laugh because you really don't know who you are.
True.
You don't have a sense of who
you are. Hatred is taught. I I know that much.
For sure.
Right? And it's sad that people might take like one incident and blame it on a whole brigade. Like, yo,
I mean,
this one Asian cat might have cheated me out of some bread. I'm not gonna say, yo, fuck all them, fuck the Yellow Brotherhood. I don't fuck with none of them cats. Like, nah, fuck that dude. That dude got me. The rest of them ain't nothing for sure to me.
Some people, they just, and it's, it's really, really sad, man. Because some of the experience I've had in certain things, I'm able to see that a person don't really know that I actually see it.
Right.
They don't know I see exactly what's, going on in their head.
True.
And I see that, and it disgustes me sometimes. It's just because I look at life for what the fuck it is.
Right. Hey, have you ever seen any race riots happen while you was down there? Like,
I don't like they have them out here.
Like that.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen it all. Literally. You figure 33 years.
Yeah, you've seen a little bit of everything, man.
You know what I mean?
What was the most frightening moment to you, man, that you bear witness to behind the wall? It didn't have to be towards you. It could have just been some, shit, man. Damn, like, glad I wasn't around there. Glad I wasn't in the middle of that. Only if you can, I know it's
no. I don't
think about certain shit.
Nah, it's just, police beatings,
like
what I mean?
Yeah.
Shit like that.
Right.
And the only reason why I basically spoke about that is because they generally do it when you're defenseless. You know what I mean?
Cuffed off.
So that's what anything else,
right.
You handle their own business, you know what I mean?
True.
But, you get it off for a minute, then you got 15, 20 cops on you and all that bullshit. But being defenseless, and I speak about that because it happened to me, a few times, especially one time in Attica, real bad. And I think matter of fact, they had the picture.
They really filthy.
Yeah,
they had a lot of shit behind it.
Yeah, but see, you gotta understand, that's a culture, you know what I mean? It's a penitentiary culture, when you're dealing with these, COs or whatever, it's a culture. Not saying everyone is in it, but
right. I don't understand this one thing though, Big Man. How are these guys living normal lives outside of the penitentiary after they did all this foulness to the people, man? Like, how are they going? Have you ever seen any of the COs in the street after the fact?
I seen, but not the ones that
did them. See, they smart. That's why they make it move, because they know they ain't do nobody wrong.
I seen one downtown, but he wasn't black there. He wasn't.
Right.
I ain't never heard of him actually being involved in anything like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? But because it's life as usual, meaning that, most of the time you're dealing with either people that hate themselves, meaning you got, black officers that participate in this shit. That's because dumb motherfuckers hate their own self.
Absolutely.
Then you get, a lot of the whites, especially up there, they hillbillies, they racist. I mean, it's just fucking point blank. You know what I'm saying? So it's easy for them to do that because you're nothing to them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't look like them. You don't act like nothing. They have no relationship to you.
Right.
So, it wouldn't be hard for them to go home, have dinner with their family.
Right. They don't never gotta see you and shit. Like,
it doesn't mean anything.
Right. It don't matter.
You're not significant to them at all.
Hey, have you ever seen any Nazi Ku Klux Klan tattoos on them guys?
Nah, I don't even know what the Ku Klux Klan tags look like.
Right,
you talking about the SWAT stickers?
The SWAT stickers and the
I seen
nigger
that.
babies hanging from
I ain't
trees and shit.
never seen that shit.
I don't heard.
Because they ain't even go. They probably
they'll flash it.
They might do some dumb shit like that, but not
blatantly out.
too far out there.
Right.
I ain't see it. I ain't see it. You know what
Right.
Nah, just the fucking the nature of that shit, man. And that's what hurt me a lot is that we don't we don't stick together, and especially guys, us guys that come home from the penitentiary, we really don't stick together like we should.
For sure.
And that was my reason, for bringing up Jay-Z, how he look out for people in the industry, not just in the industry, he probably do other shit, but I don't really know about it.
Right.
But, his loyalty to that,
Yeah.
because he come up with that, industry, and seen a lot, seen, where brothers is being had, brothers being cheated.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He know because he was in the mix of this shit.
Sure.
So he really knows what goes on.
Yeah.
So he takes certain brothers, takes certain sisters, and try to help them.
Yeah.
This is what you need. This is either get down with me or do things this way.
Yeah, that's what. Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that plays a part.
Yeah, definitely plays a part. Like I said, man, I really salute you as a Black history hero, man. This is our month right here, and like I said, man, a lot of people are so into themselves, they don't think to help or look out for the next man. That's what our people are lacking. And I wanted to say this, man, because I've been saying it all week. If you want to make a change, you gotta get in the field, get your hands dirty. You can't be on the sideline. Well, y'all need to do this. Well, what are you doing to help make it like that? You hear a lot of people say, man, y'all should have did it like this. You should have did it like. Well, why are you not on the front line getting your hands dirty, trying to make it like that?
Because it's not really. Let me tell you something. In my case in particular, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of my supporters is Hill Hopper. I don't know if you're familiar with who he is. All right,
Yeah.
The Good Doctors show that comes on Channel 7.
Yeah.
Probably one of the #1 shows.
Yeah.
He's Obama's man. Him and Obama went to Harvard together.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
They went to Harvard together.
Wow. I didn't know that.
He's a brother that support us, in my opinion.
Oh, that's
He
what's up.
supported me. He wrote books, I think it's An Incarcerated Brother or something like that. I can't remember the exact title of it. You look it up, you'll find it, you know what I mean? But you have brothers that don't even come from, the hood, in the sense of coming from the hood, and, never did penitentiary time, jail time, and, they support us. Those are really some special people to me.
True.
Very, very fucking special.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? Because you don't have to identify where it comes from. Their dedication to what they're doing, because it comes from their heart.
Facts.
A lot of times, a lot of things we may do, it comes from our experience. I've been through this, so I know, so I'm going to do this for the brother, So it's comparable.
Yeah.
Not incomparable, comparable to exactly the same thing we do, even though they don't come from the experience we come from.
Right.
But they're coming from the heart. That makes it, it's very deep, man, for a brother that don't come from that to automatically start supporting the brothers that do come from that.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, it takes a lot.
And, you try to educate. I just had a son too, right?
Oh, congratulations.
Which is, kind of bizarre, because I thought, when I came home, I didn't think about having kids, especially coming home at 55.
Man.
But, to have a kid
late,
at, 59 years old,
yeah.
right? And, you watch the transition of your kid from birth. He's 3 months old now. You're 3 months old. And you watch everything. You watch him when he come out.
Mm-hmm.
He came out looking like a light-skinned Chinese, right? Which is big, but I'm serious,
No
right?
doubt.
And then transition to start looking like you.
That's right.
And that, that was the most amazing thing that happened to me. Since I came home, to watch, that transition,
yeah.
to actually see you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All over again, man. Your sequel.
Yeah.
And it's just the beginning.
Just the beginning, brother.
Just the beginning.
And, to watch, it's just seeing that, seeing other brothers come home, and, watching them, even seeing my cousin, he come home, just watching, the whole thing, then he invited me to the what they call that, it was like a gala for G-Mac and the thing, right?
Yeah, against the gala.
And, you had all these brothers, a lot of the brothers I knew, you know, from the penitentiary or whatever.
Right.
You had different Congress people, you know, different type of people.
Facts.
And I always really, really admired that organization itself.
Yeah, true.
You know, because these guys didn't change their identity.
Nah, man.
You know what I mean?
You gotta.
They didn't change it. And I was told that, you know, they tried to get him to change the name. When he said, nah, I'm sticking with the name. And he got successful on that name.
Absolutely.
You know, not just the name, but, you know, the things they do within the hood or whatever.
That's real.
But I really have, you know, respect for what they done and, you know, still doing, you know what I mean?
Facts.
And, you know, I love to see my cousin, you know, he was in it. Actually just got an award the other day for that.
Yes.
You know,
Yes,
very, 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 very smart guy. You know,
Absolutely.
very, very smart guy. And I really appreciate him as a friend and as a cousin. You know,
Absolutely.
and, you know, to watch, you know, what he's going through now, you know, dealing with the operation he had, all that.
Right.
You know, I hate it, you know, I was talking to his wife, I just hate to see him like that.
Yeah, me too.
But I was happy to see when he was able to walk from the room, you know, down the hall, you know,
Right.
short but he getting it together,
For sure, motion.
because that's that power in
Yeah, man, without a doubt.
you. That's that power in you.
Can't keep a real one down, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And he knows that also that we relying on him too, you know what I'm saying? He is the strength for a lot of us, so to see him, you know, get back up and start making the moves again, that got everybody back up. He was all in the slump like,
yo,
hey,
I was there,
man.
and you know, actually I went there. I think it was the day before the operation.
The 8th.
That was the 8th. I think I flew out to Charlotte. I was out on, because I go out of state on cases too.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, I mean, actually I'm going to Charlotte next week. I think Baltimore, Sunday. Now I go. Let me tell you something, man. I take, you know, what I do very, very serious.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
I mean, extremely serious, man.
Yeah.
And the lawyers I work with, they know, I take it very serious.
Hell yeah, as you should, man.
Because, you know, you're dealing with a person's life.
Hell yeah, it's just like trying to help yourself all over again. Like,
I love to see brothers come on, man.
I understand
I
how
love
you feel, because that's how I would attack it
And
too.
the way the system do, especially in Brooklyn District Attorney's Office, in particular, you know.
Yeah,
That's
man.
when most, you know,
They play filthy.
or most wrongful conviction cases come out. Yeah, you know, you just pay attention to the news, man.
No doubt.
You know, most of the wrongful conviction cases, you know, come out of Brooklyn. You know, they just had, 2 in the last month, maybe 5 weeks. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
And you know, even with my case, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have a very, you know, unusual case. You know, somebody else was arrested for this crime, and they never turned over the police report to show that someone else, you know, was arrested. Yes. And you know, my lawyer was Michael Vecchione. Michael Vecchione turned out to be later on the chief of rackets in the district attorney's office. Yes. It's crazy, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
it becomes that. And
Wow.
he gave me an affidavit saying that, you know, we never had this police report. And that's called Brady. You know, you're supposed to disclose everything you have. We had a hearing,
Mm-hmm.
an oral argument, put it that way,
Okay.
recently, right? Last October, I think it was. And the judge asked the DA, did y'all disclose this police report? They said non-disclosure, meaning they never turned it over.
Mm-hmm.
They admitted, and you know this guy still denied the oral argument for us to get a hearing, which is bizarre.
Wow.
When I say bizarre, really, really, and it's so much, you know, with my case, you know what I mean, that I won't even really go into the full scope of it. It'll take probably about a couple of hours, you know what I mean,
Right.
to break everything down. But I'll talk about certain things. Like, I got a one witness case, right? One witness, right? The witness I have in my case, he said originally I wasn't a guy. Then he said I looked like the guy. He left the precinct for hours, came back and said, I was the guy. Right?
What?
He picked out the picture. Now, we fast forward. Right?
Yeah.
No, we'll stay there for a second.
Okay.
They got what they call a Wade hearing. That's identification hearing identification hearing to determine, the validity of the identification, was it coerced, was it legitimate.
Right.
I never had a lineup. I was never put in a lineup. I was arrested 5 months later for this crime. Right? So now at the Wade hearing, Vecchione is arguing that, Your Honor, the sole witness that identified him had to be coerced. He left the precinct, came back, and then he makes this identification.
Yeah.
So the judge said, well, even if he was coerced by the police, they're not bonded by that. The law doesn't bond them, right? Which is crazy, right? I got it in black and white. Everything I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So now, let's fast forward.
Mm.
All right, we submit my case to the conviction review unit in the Brooklyn DA's office. They take the case, right? They reinvestigate the case. During their investigation, they interview a witness that was there, right? Witness never ID'd me. This witness did. She tells them that after the guy got killed, we went to the victim's brother's house, right? And the victim brother was accusing the guy Dale. That's the only identification guy in my case, period. The victim brother, they go to the victim brother and tell him, oh, your brother got killed. The victim brother automatically turns to him and said, I know you had something to do with my brother being killed. So that was the reason why he came back to the precinct and picked me up.
Oh.
Now this is during the DA's investigation. I got, the tape is on tape, everything, right?
Whoa.
So now you know the reason why he came back.
Right.
So how the fuck is that not newly discovered evidence?
True indeed.
Right? Now, they go to the co-defendant they gave me, right? When they go to him. They catch him in federal parole. When they go to federal parole, they bust in on him. They says, oh, we're going to talk to you about the John Ramsey case. You was the co-defendant in that case. What happened? I don't want to talk about that. I ain't here for that. I'm here to find out if I'm going to get violated, on parole. I think he got knocked with weed, some dumb shit, right?
Yeah.
So now, he turns around, they kept pressing. He snaps on him. He says, look, everybody know John Ramsey ain't have nothing to do with that. I know it, and the police know it. Right?
Right.
Bang. So now they wanted to see him later. He cuts out. They wanted to see him a couple of days. They set up a meeting. He don't come. Anyway, later on, they wound up sitting him down. He tells them everything. He says, look, it wasn't John Ramsey. It was my brother. Tells them everything. Tells them every fucking how it happened, what happened, everything. Why he put them on me. And he told them point blank, the reason why I said Ramsey, because I didn't want my mother to lose 2 kids.
Oh, shit.
You know what I mean? Even though his brother got murdered in 83, something like that, 83. Not too long after, I think I had blue trial already. I can't remember, right? But he gives them the whole script. Why are you still fighting this case?
Right.
You understand?
Right.
None of these witnesses, not one of them, ever talk about this big ass scar on my head. One girl said, I was on the phone. Listen, I'm on the phone on Flatbush Avenue, and she said, excuse me, how long you going to be? I turns around and look at her, so I'll be a minute. She tells them that she seen me for a whole minute. A minute is a long goddamn time to be looking.
Yeah, for you to be staring at
To look at a person, that's a long time.
Yeah, well, maybe
People don't realize,
seconds.
you don't realize how long that is.
Right.
You time that. Just put that there and time 60 seconds. You
Right.
watching the person.
Right.
So now, fast forward, I get arrested for this shit. We go to trial. She takes the stand. The DA never asks her, do you see the same person that you see on the phone in the courtroom? Now, if you got a witness that's seen somebody for a minute, why wouldn't you ask them to identify?
Yeah.
Never asked.
That was the main.
Because he knew she could not identify me.
Yeah.
That's why he didn't ask her. He knew that, for sure. You know what I mean? Just like I know for sure they knew I was. They didn't give a shit. And that's what they're about, just getting the conviction. They don't give a fuck.
True.
And there's so much in when I tell you, that's just a little bit of it.
Just a little piece of it.
That's just a little bit of it. You know what I mean? There's so much in it, you know, and I learned so much from basically investigating my own case, which makes it so easy for me to go into other people's cases.
Yeah.
You know, like some of the cases I work on, you wouldn't even know. You wouldn't even, not know or imagine. You know, one case I got, it's been on Dateline. It's a big case.
Oh, shit.
It's been on Dateline.
DC.
And this guy is innocent.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I've been working on this case for like a year now. A year, you know. And, you know, making great waves on it. But when I get into a case, you know, most investigators, what they do, you can sit there, you be in a meeting, we need you to go interview, let's say, Joe Blow. So all they do is go to the door. Is Joe Blow there? He ain't there? All right. Or if Joe Blow comes to the door, well, we'd like to talk to you about, you know, a case that happened and such and such and such. I don't want to talk about that. That ends everything.
Right.
That's it. With me, it don't happen like that. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
I read everything.
Yeah.
And the lawyers, it was proven to them. One day we went to go see a client in Sing Sing prison. And we sitting there talking, they talking to him. I'm not saying anything. I'm just sitting there listening, man. The homeboy don't know who I am. You feel me? So they turn around, they say, yeah, this is Ramsey, whatever. That's it, man. So the brother started talking about this case. And he started talking about this case. I said, oh yeah, that's the one that got kidnapped, da, da, da. I'm breaking it down. He looks at them like,
how the hell you know
how
that?
you know? That's it. Exactly what
Right.
he said. So the lawyers, they said, nah, that's, you know, he reads everything. You know, but it confirms something to them that I do read.
And you can't pull a slick one on me.
Because they didn't know whether they knew then. That's when it was confirmed. They told me later on, yo, you really, I said, yeah, I read all this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what makes me so effective when I'm investigating cases. I know what to look for.
Exactly.
You know, I know what to say.
Exactly.
I know exactly what part, no part, this one did, this going here.
This, and that,
I know
this,
everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because now, when I go out there, my approach is different than one of these, you know, retired New York City cops. You know, most of them is white. You know, I tell them right to their face. They know everything I'm saying is a jet.
True.
You know, I tell them right. I say, you know what, you can't do what I. And they'll tell me, no, we can't do what you do. That's a fact. You know what I mean? You can't. And people don't realize. Like a couple of clients, I talk to them. They be like, yo, man, you official, man, because you risk your life, man. I do risk my life. You know what I mean? I go up in certain hoods. Like I've been out here in Newark, which I told you about. You know, I've been in Newark and all that. And I don't know really nobody out here.
Yeah.
But, you know, once, like if I go on the projects or whatever, and I may be asking for somebody, and they be like, yo, what and I tell them, I say, yo, this is what I do, man. You Google my name, just put down Wrongfully, you see the articles written on me, on Ball. I said, nah, I'm here to help people get out of jail, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Automatically,
respect that.
you get a pass in the hood.
Oh yeah, you gotta, come on, man. Who don't?
Automatically.
Yeah, we need you guys.
You
know
getting
what
a
I'm saying?
pass in the motherfucker. And I go to North Philly. You know how bad it is over there.
Oh yeah.
I'm down in Charlotte. I'm down in Atlanta. You know what I mean?
All over.
And I go in there, man. And one thing I do, I get results, man.
As you should, man.
You know what I mean? Not all the time, but most of the times, man. I come back to what I went down there for.
True.
You know, because I know how to talk the lingo, man. I know how to relate to them, man.
Absolutely.
And a lot of these, you know, you got to know how.
Talk to people how you want to be
Yeah,
talked
and
to.
it's the thing where sometimes guys just don't understand the reality of what they did, you know, and how you can correct your lie. You know what I mean? Because 99.9% of the time, these so-called snitches or federal agents, whatever the fuck you want to call these motherfuckers, they lie. You know what I mean? One of the cases I had, they charged these motherfuckers with a body. Come to find out, motherfucker was in the penitentiary and the body happened.
Wow. Wow.
That's my word. In the fucking penitentiary, bro.
See, look at that shit.
But just think about it.
Best alibi.
What if the brother wasn't in the penitentiary?
He needed to be on camera at CBS
What if
or something.
Exactly. If he was anywhere,
alibi, right?
he would have been life in the federal penitentiary on that alone.
Grimy, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And that's why when I tell you I put my all and all into this shit, because ain't nobody gonna fight for us but us.
True.
You know what I mean? And bad as I want to bring people in, to what I do, I'm skeptical of that. You know why I'm skeptical of that?
Tainted.
You know why?
Tell me, why you won't?
Because of numbers. You know what I mean? I don't want the same thing that transpires over there happen with me.
True.
Because, you send a guy out on a case, and he'll do shit that pretty much will taint the guy's case and what I'm building.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm starting from the ground. I ain't got no big money. I ain't got none of that shit. I'd start from the ground. And the thing is that I take cases personal.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I take all of that personal.
And you know what? I was also talking about something similar to that. You would rather handle it yourself because nobody knows this or has the same passion for it than you do. You know what I mean? And you would hate to give it to somebody maybe later on, but not right now.
Because you don't want to compromise somebody. You don't want to compromise. And every case is really, really personal to me. You know what I mean? Because I know these clients, and they depend on me per se. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. It's only right. I'm depending on you to do this for me. Don't give your pupil my case, and then they don't got the same passion you do. I'll get to it when I get to it.
The females I work with, they different.
Right.
And the way that we come together on things, it's different.
Sure.
I won't say how, because I'll let's go through all our little moves, but how we come together. And I've come, to know them, not only on a personal level, from the working level, and I know what to expect from them, which is good work. You know what I mean? They're going to do exactly. Exactly.
You make it work.
Yeah, it's for sure, and it takes a lot of work. When you're trying to track down people, and in most of these cases, that I work on, they old cases, man.
Yeah.
They not 2 years ago. These shits is 20 years and better.
Cold joints.
One case I'm on. This case go back to 1975.
Damn, that's an ice cold case.
Let me tell you something. I'm going to crack it.
As you should.
When I tell you, I'm going to crack this joint, man.
I just seen something on TV like that too. The guy had 17 joints, and he was locked away wrongfully, because this guy, his partner, did some foul shit with the guns, switched the guns or some shit, and this man did 17 joints. The dude felt so bad. He said, "Nah, man, I gotta get this man out of here." Ended up taking his partner down and everything. His partner was the main one telling him, "Yo, man, nah, man, why you be digging up that old shit? Nah, let that go." That was how you knew it was something fishy about it. And I don't understand how cats could dedicate their lives to ruining people's lives, man.
That's what they do, man.
How could you live every day with your family knowing that you took... At the end of the day, who's really the criminal? Who's the real criminal, man? At the end of the day, when you can sit up and take... Look, I'm just trying to make a living. I'm just trying to defend myself, whatever the case may be. But you're going to take me away from my family for decades. And you sitting up good? How could you sleep at night, man?
They do.
They sleep good, right?
Them motherfuckers sleep better than us, man.
Demons, man.
They sleep better than us, bro. Trust me, man.
Demons, man.
They are. Let me tell you something. They are the worst, man. And you know, I watch some of this shit, man. I'm gonna tell you something you need to watch. You got Netflix.
Yes.
Watch that Malcolm X thing.
Malcolm X?
Yeah, just put you'll see it. Just
Okay,
slow
it's a
down.
new joint?
Yes, this
I'm gonna check it out
watch
tonight.
the investigation that was done on that. This guy here is mean.
Like that.
Yeah, he's mean. You know,
Dedicated.
and the case was just submitted to the integrity unit. They call it in Manhattan. It's like they wrongful conviction of the two brothers that did time for the Malcolm murder. One of them dead. One is still alive. He's 81. But just watch that.
81,
He's
wow.
81. His son's
Shit.
64 years old.
Was
Yeah.
it true that one of the guys was here from North? They was from North or something like
Yeah,
that?
just watch it.
Okay,
You know,
yeah, I'm
and
gonna
you go-
check it out. I don't
No,
wanna-
I'm gonna tell you
spoil it.
because it's funny that you mentioned Newark, but when you watch it, that's
Yeah.
what I'm telling you.
Okay, yeah, I'm definitely
I
watching.
want you to watch that. You'll be texting me or calling
Yeah,
me. or something.
definitely. I'm gonna let you know.
Yeah,
when I'm watching.
just watch it because you're gonna see it for yourself. Without,
Cool.
you know, me
Cool.
pre-informing you of.
I'm the
Yeah,
same way.
Newark is
I'm not like to tell people.
Newark
what
is the
happened.
key.
You need to watch it. Just watch it.
Just
That's
watch it,
I
man.
got you. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make sure I do that, man.
And call me tonight.
Yeah,
Text me
definitely. Let you know, man.
once you watch it.
The results that I got from that. For real. So, man, you got any partners that's locked down still that you wanna give a shout out to? Or,
I got so many people.
I know so many people.
Nah, this is, you know, them brothers know who they are. Even brothers out here, man. You know,
No doubt, man.
whether they
That's
your
cool.
homies or whatever. I know,
Right.
I know substantial. I'm good. You know, we good.
No
I
doubt.
got a lot of respect for them, and you know, stuff they doing too. A lot of them doing some good shit, man.
Word.
Yeah.
Hey, I know overall that most of the time the police, COs, they the ops, man. They the opposite team. But did you have any, you know, like mutual respect, or you know, did you have anybody on the inside that you got along with that you couldn't, you know, believe that, you know, how could this person even be a CO or whatever? Maybe they was just that cool.
Probably in the Brooklyn house.
In Brooklyn House.
But he got it was a police there named Myers. Myers from Bronzeville.
Yeah.
And, now the reason why I respected Myers because Myers was a street dude, and in the blue uniform, in the sense of that, you know, he ain't never get down with jumping off, none of that.
Right, he went with the
And
foul shit.
He went one-on-one with about 3 people.
Yeah.
Yes, and he put it in because he know how to fight. You know, sometimes you get dudes,
Yeah.
they really, you know, you don't really know how to fight.
Right.
But I respected Myers. I respected him.
No
You know,
doubt.
like I was on the 10th floor.
Mm.
That's like a close supervision unit up there.
Okay.
CMC, Central
CMC.
Monument cases and shit. So I
Yeah.
was up there. So, you know, most dudes come up there, you know, got a little name for one thing or another.
Right.
You know, they case or whatever. So, you know, someone be having this chip, but you're not able to handle that chip on your shoulder or whatever.
Yeah.
So, you know, you come through, you might say something slick to Myers, and Myers will tell you won't really say nothing.
Right.
You know what I
It take him
mean?
a little minute to.
Nah, no, you won't say nothing.
Yeah.
So now when you coming out, you may come out to the law library or visit whatever, you got
Then he had- he
and you
pressed
got
up
the
on
double gates. And he used to press up, he used to just bang. That's it. You know what I'm
So he
saying?
come through.
Yeah, I respect
Oh,
that. He
shit.
ain't, you know, ring no bell, none of
Right.
that. Police come and say, nah, this should be that
You
long.
know all that shit you was talking
Yeah,
about?
this is back in the early, this is like 80, 79, 80, shit like that. You know?
Yeah.
But I respect a man,
No
You know
doubt.
what I mean?
No doubt.
regardless of that. He did what he do. He ain't call no, he ain't do none of that shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? And everybody respect him. He was on some smooth shit. He ain't never, you know, just try to disrespect us or nothing.
Right.
None of that done. He give us, you know, what we supposed to have and
Yeah.
a little inch more. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
He ain't take from no.
Nah. He wasn't
Right.
disrespectful
That's
at all.
what's up, man. Some cats just don't know how to just get their check and go home.
He wasn't.
know?
Nah, he was a man.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? He's the type you see in the street. You ain't got no reason to try to go at him for what.
Right. Yo, what's up, man? What's going
Yeah,
on?
but you know,
He
reason-
did everything he's supposed to
Yeah,
do.
yeah,
Not
nah,
let that
there's
shit.
no
I
reason.
respect that.
Hell
You know
yeah,
what I'm
hell yeah.
saying? You gotta respect
Hell yeah.
that. Because even though you're from the opposite side, You gotta treat people how you would want to be treated, man. And I'm quite sure by the way you speak of him, he has a lot of people that was inside too.
Yeah.
You know?
He wound up getting murdered, man.
What?
Yeah, I think he was stopping the fight and wound up getting stabbed. He was stopping the fight against people, wound up hitting him hard. Word, killed him, man. This when I was up north.
Wow.
People told me, I said, damn, word. I said, yeah, they killed Myers, man.
Damn,
You know what I'm
a
saying?
good one, man.
Yeah, he literally didn't, he was literally on some smooth shit.
Yeah,
He wasn't on no bullshit.
Wow.
You had to fucking respect this
Right,
motherfucker.
yeah, no
He
doubt.
know how to fight. You know, he don't go out there, he don't disrespect nobody. What happens is you get dudes come up to the floor, right, and they don't know who this police is, so you trying to talk slick to this motherfucker, and he ain't the one.
No, right.
And I ain't talking about he don't pick no little, because one motherfucker he had the shit with kind of big. And I'm like, man, and Myers put it on. He put it on. You know what I'm saying? Brooklyn motherfucker, from Brownsville, so most of them motherfuckers know how to fight. But nah, it's just he ain't fucking. He ain't disrespecting none of that shit. You can't really find nobody. Only person he probably beat up and probably got an issue with him.
Right.
But he did that by himself. I mean,
Right.
you know what I mean? You gotta respect that. He didn't call nobody or none of that.
That's
He
what's
did that
up,
by
man.
himself. So you gotta respect a man.
Absolutely,
You know what I mean?
absolutely. Do you have any way that the people could possibly contact you? You tell them the name of the company again.
Oh, you can get me at Liberty Investigation.
Liberty Investigation.
33 at gmail.com. Liberty Investigation.
And they specialize in what?
Wrongful conviction cases.
You heard, people?
You know,
This is
you
for,
see
this
what
is
they say on the back, right? You see what they say on the
I
back?
show the people what it
See what they say
says.
on the back?
You heard? Liberty Investigation. 33 at Gmail. 917-635-6325. I free injustice guilty. You heard what he said?
Injustice guilty. You know what I
Be
mean?
free injustice guilty. The service for the people.
Yeah,
You gotta applaud that man. You gotta salute that man because I have it. This is the very first animal of its kind. Pardon, you know what I mean? The expression in the most utmost respect. And this is the first guy I've ever bear witness to, dedicating his life to helping others, man. And that's gangster to me. That's why we salute him here, Ghetto Stars Podcast, man. Well, I appreciate you, Big Ram. Appreciate you coming through.
Shout out to
Give
my
me
wife.
time of day. Shout out to the queen.
Shout my wife out.
No
My
doubt.
son. You know what I mean? Mother, sister, brother, cousin.
Yes, sir.
And my boy Shaquille.
No doubt, man. You already know. Shout out to Code Red, G-Shine's finest. Yo, man. Before you slide up out of here, I gotta get you a few personal questions, man. Okay. You want an island by yourself. You got one album to take with you. Few
No,
items.
just one. Give me one item. That's all.
Just one item. No. You got not an album.
Nah, no, I'm gonna take an album with me.
Right,
Yeah,
you got one album.
Yeah.
You got one movie.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Let's start with the movie. Let's start with the music first. You got one album.
I'll tell you what I'm gonna take.
You on the album with you.
Reasonable doubt.
Jay-Z. Oh.
That goes.
Yeah, okay. That goes.
That goes.
That goes. You don't really need nothing else after that. You good with that.
Yeah.
No doubt. One movie, man.
Heat.
Oh, Pacino De Niro.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's my
man.
favorite joint.
Oh my God, shoot out.
That's my favorite.
Lifetime,
That's my
man.
favorite. That's my favorite.
Never seen
my
no shoot
favorite.
out like that,
Favorite.
man. Them dudes is ass.
Some people don't like the end, but I love the end.
I love the end too,
You
man.
know
It's
what I
the
mean?
flip side to that coin.
Yeah. He said, don't ever get attached to anything. You can't walk away in 30 seconds if the heat is around the corner. But the irony of all of that, reason why I said I respect the end, most people don't, is the fact he went back to avenge. You understand? He showed his loyalty.
Yeah.
That's how he wound up getting clipped at the end.
Yeah, I would have said, fuck Wayne, bro.
You know,
I'll catch you on a later day.
He couldn't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he lost his people along the way.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
But also, I think he let his emotions get to him. He was too rugged for that, man. He was too bad. He could have came back and got that food.
He did.
You know what I'm saying?
He didn't even want a chance.
Right. Right.
Even though this is not reality. He didn't even want a chance not being able to do it.
True.
You know what I mean? So that's why he did it when he did.
Yeah.
I understood it because when I first watched it originally, I had the same attitude, but as I grew, I started seeing reason
to help him.
The loyalty that he had.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? Because he think about the guys that he lost.
Hell yeah.
So he said, you know what? I got the opportunity.
True.
So being that I got this opportunity now, I'm going to do it now.
All right, so let's just say this, right? He had the opportunity. Why the fuck he take so long? He should have just and slid out.
Because you know why? I'm gonna tell you something. I want you to always remember.
Yes, sir.
It wasn't in the script.
Damn right.
It wasn't in the script.
Damn right.
It ain't real. That's why I said this. This ain't real.
No doubt.
You know what I mean?
No doubt.
We just giving our own little narrative.
Yeah.
But that shit ain't real.
No doubt, man. Favorite meal, man. You got your favorite meal on the island with you. What's that going to be?
Macaroni and cheese and yams and barbecue goddamn chicken and some collard.
Like my shit,
you know what it is?
Yes,
SOULFOOD. Soul food.
Damn, I ain't nothing like it.
That's what we grew up. I grew up on that shit.
Damn right.
Yeah, that's it. Hell yeah.
That's what it's hitting for, man.
Nah, but that Reasonable Doubt, that was.
Yeah, that's a wicked album.
Yeah, because I got in. That came out 9/6.
Yeah,
I was in Attica.
Yeah, 9/5/9/6. Yes, sir.
Me.
One of the most underrated albums ever, man. Most underrated.
Yes.
Let me tell you a secret. When Jay came out, I didn't like him, man.
Right.
Because I was too much a big fan. And I felt like this nigga trying to take over. But not knowing that Big prepped him to take over. He said, all right, look, check this out, Sean. In case something happened to me, you second in command.
He did
And he did his part.
Very
stepped it up for Brooklyn. Brought the East Coast back.
I got a lot of respect for him. And you listen to his music. I mean, unless you're a dumb motherfucker, his message is all in that motherfucker to rise from, bro.
You already know, man. My brother, it's been an honor, man.
Take care, man.
Appreciate you, big homie.
You already know.
Ghetto Stars Podcast, Mr. Ramsey. We out of here, man.
Take care.
Peace.
Peace.